I received a copy of the document from last November, distributed by a planning board member urging voters, residents, to vote no, big capital letters here, on Article 18 for the marijuana grow facility on Cross Street. So I sat here and read it. As an elected official, planning board member, representing the entire community, went door to door advocating a no vote. My belief that as an elected board member should not be advocating their personal views, and they should stay neutral on the board.
CRG permit that a particular planning board member was against and opposed. And one of the things that came up at that meeting was to run the water line through the CRG project. As a private developer, I'd want to run it through because it's a lot cheaper to do that. So of course CRG just wants to get their project done. But to deny the people on High Street the right to use that water, to me, is wrong, either from fire protection or for if their well fails or whatever the reason is. It's just not an appropriate thing for a planning board to be trying to do that.
I think there's a valid concern that's been raised, and we should be looking at possible means of training. We don't give up our First Amendment rights when we're on board, but we need to behave appropriately, and we need to be clear when we talk with the residents, when we're talking as an individual, and when we're talking as a member of a board. I don't think picking on any other board is necessary, because I've got enough flaws when I look in the mirror myself.
I was passing out information about the rezoning just to people so they could get the meetings. I don't think I was actually on the planning board when I passed out that flyer.
I was actually out with Chris that day. We decided to divide up the areas that were going to be discussed at the public hearing on rezoning, because the affected residents were not informed that the zoning of their property was being considered.
Could it ever be true that residents were not made aware of a...
If there are butters to a zoning article, they should have been informed.
They were not informed.
Look at the
Clarify that.
We'll take it. Walgreens, Sturdy, and the two gas stations on the corners. This would afford us a straight line through with a center on the northbound side and on the south side, in fact, on all directions. 3 lanes forward and then 2 in the back. I don't know if you can see that line quite well enough, but it would give us dedicated turn lanes, left, right, and straight in all 4 directions. This would be a reforming of the street in North Attleboro, and an additional light further down at George Levin Drive. This would slow the approach into the intersection. It would also slow the number of cars in the intersection at one further up. Consequently, while it's not perfect, it really should relieve an awful lot of pressure. There's an awful lot of cars going through a very small chokehold. Price-wise, we're going to be working with North Attleboro to resolve the problem. The developer of the project, this is a 40R project, so consequently the developer is willing to put some money forward, North Attleboro is willing to put some money forward, and we may have to put some money forward in FY24.
I understand we're somewhat beholden to the goodwill of North Attleboro here, but this North Attleboro project is going to be putting, I'm not sure what their estimate is, 500 or 600 vehicle trips a day.
It's
in
a
that stretch?
2% increase over what is there now.
No, 2%,
So that's their
2% when you're plugged
Yeah, it's 2 more cars than 100.
is
So,
a problem.
I think this is particularly generous. This is a plan that was changed by Chris Yarworth from their original plan, and this is a big improvement.